Mentioned it is day 2 of the special session called by the governor. Lawmakers will begin with a debate to roll back crime reduction bills that were first passed back in 2017. Yesterday, Governor Landry opened up the session with a commitment to keep his campaign promises.
Last year, I promised the people of the state of Louisiana, if elected governor, I would do everything within my power to improve the safety of our communities through both legislative and executive action.
Today we're hearing from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. We're being joined by Republican State Senator Beth Mizell. She is joining us via Zoom, and Democratic State Representative Kyle Green, who is here with us in the studio. First of all, thank you both for coming in. This is an important topic, and it's one that the governor did campaign on, but it does come at a time when overall crime is down in many communities, including here in New Orleans and around the country. Let me get your thoughts on the need for a special session. I mean, everybody wants to reduce crime. There's no doubt about that. But was there a need for a special session? Let's start with you, Senator Mizell.
Hi, good morning. I think if the governor said there was a need for special session, that there must be a need for a special session, and we're here to meet the call that the governor put out. So I think it's incumbent upon us to listen to all sides. I had a juvenile justice task force just recently to address the concerns we have with juveniles in the system. So I think there are eyes being looked at all sides of it, but in the meantime, we have to address what many see as the lack of balance, and I think the governor referenced that in his talk yesterday, the lack of balance felt by the community in the way the justice system currently works.
Yeah, and while crime is down in many cases, I think the perception is still very high. Representative Green, what are your thoughts on the special session?
Well, to your first point, good morning. Thank you for having me, and good morning to my colleague Beth Mizell, who I serve with. And I think that this session was unnecessary. We'll be convening a regular session, general session on March 11th. Many of these bills could have been taken up in the regular session to address crime. And I think that is something that we should definitely take a look at, because yes, you're correct. As though the statistics have shown that crime is generally down in the city of New Orleans, the state, and the country as a whole, the perception is still there. And for many people, perception is always reality.
And so what are the bills that you both are most concerned about, either for or against? Senator?
I think, there's the big bills. There's been, discussion whether you're looking at meetings we've had with the Catholic bishops on the death penalty. These are serious issues. These are heavy issues, and they're all in a different way have a weight to them. But I'm going to tell you, the most compelling part of the governor's talk yesterday was when he addressed the victims and their families that were in the chamber. And I think that's the image that a lot of us are going to keep with us as we approach these bills and hear them discussed and hear both sides. There were some outrageous, and you all haven't covered that in your story this morning, but there were some outrageous stories of what was done to the convicted criminal that brought the hurt to these victims. And I think that when the governor mentions the justice system is out of balance, that's what he's referencing. So there's going to be some hard bills, some hard votes. They're very weighty. But I think the voices of those victims are going to be in our ears all week.
Yeah, and I think everyone agrees that the victims need a voice in all this. Representative Green, when we talk about juvenile crime, we have seen an uptick in juvenile crime, and it's been horrific. The governor pointed out the Linda Fricky case, which is an example of young people who committed a horrendous crime and were tried as adults.
Absolutely, and I think no one is going to tell you that those who commit heinous crimes shouldn't pay the price. I think what we as a society and as a legislature should do all we can to ensure that we attack crime at the root, at the beginning, to ensure that people like Ms. Fricke's family doesn't have to endure what they've had to endure. I happen to have the Bridge City Youth Correctional Facility in my district. Ms. Fricke was a constituent of mine. And so that, my heart aches for her family. But I think as a society, it speaks a lot to who we are that we have children, because at the end of the day, they're still children committing these acts. And I think that the data shows that a 17-year-old's mind is still developing. And we all have been 17 before, and so we make decisions that we wish we wouldn't have made. I'm 36 years old, and I can tell you, I'm not the same person I was at 17. I don't think the same way.
Well, but nothing as serious as a carjacking.
Absolutely.
Where someone is horrifically killed. If I can keep on moving on, what are some of the things that you're looking at with Governor Landry? Because I think he did hit on a couple of spots. He said, instead of putting more people in jail, let's get to them before they get to that stage. Senator?
Absolutely, and I know Representative Green and I have worked in years past on early childhood education. There's very few things that we can invest in as a state that are going to touch every point of concern, and early childhood does that. Early childhood, I don't think we see it as a solution to a lot of the ills of our society, but it absolutely changes outcomes. That's something I think we need to invest in at a much higher rate. I think that some of the conversations I've had, it's very important that we don't consider all these juveniles that are going into the system unredeemable. We need these young people to come out as better people and as with their character and with their abilities to provide for themselves and for perhaps a coming family. We need that, and we need to invest in that as well. So other states have done some tremendous things in their juvenile system to work with that.
And let me get over to Representative Green. One of the things that the governor just turned down or didn't opt into that $71 million in federal funding for kids, impoverished kids who need food during the summer months. Is that a problem with you?
Absolutely. Last year I passed a bill to the senator's help in voting for it. We expanded the free lunch program, free lunch and breakfast program in the state of Louisiana. And so that's something that can go towards helping reduce the crime rate. And to the senator's credit, she has been a rock star on being a champion for early childhood education. So, unfortunately, the way the call was constructed, it was so narrowly tailored that we can't even consider programs like that in this session's call.
Okay, and quickly, I'm out of time, but in a couple of words, what do you hope to get out of this session, Senator?
This session, I hope that we can give the state some peace of mind and put the state on a course to kind of change the reputation we've got. But in doing that, bring some peace of mind to people who think that we have not done what was sufficient to address the cause of crime. And to Representative Green's point, I totally agree. I think we're going as far as the opportunity in the regular session that's going to be there to address a lot of the issues that we think we could add some good points to that we're not able to in this session.
Thank you. Representative Green?
Well, I hope we can keep the main thing, which is hopefully reducing crime. And whatever bills that ultimately pass should be laser focused on ensuring that is evidence-based by the data that it will in fact reduce crime and keep our communities safer.
All right. Thank you both for coming in. We appreciate that. We're going to continue this conversation when we move over to WWL. A state auditor will join us to talk about the impact of bipartisan laws implemented in 2017 that are now under threat by Governor Landry's administration. You can find out what it means for you if those laws are rolled back. That'll be coming up when we switch over to WPL in our 7 o'clock hour. Brandon?
Yep.